Good evening. Welcome to the August 5th, 2026 meeting of the Falmouth Conservation Commission. This meeting is being held virtually via Zoom video conference and is also being broadcast by FCTV on cable channel 9. As this meeting is being recorded by Zoom and broadcast by FCTV, please be cognizant of what you say, how you say it, and what can be seen and heard in your background. We have a full complement of commissioners tonight, and thank you all for your dedication. I'd like to remind the commissioners that for commenting, I will call on each of you in turn, so please refrain from speaking over each other. Also, all votes will be done by roll call. So when I call your name, please state your name and your vote for the record, even if you've made the motion or second. To our public attendees, at any time during the meeting, you may enter any comments or questions via the chat function. At the appropriate time, they'll be read into the record. If, as an attendee, you'd like to participate in a particular hearing, let us know via the chat function. Then at the appropriate time, you're promoted into a hearing as a participant. When you're selected, you must have your video enabled, be succinct and respectful of others. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes each. Regarding RDAs, under a request for determination of applicability, the applicant is asking the Commission to determine if the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and/or the Falmouth Wetland Bylaw apply to the proposed project. A negative determination is that the provisions of the Act and/or bylaw do not apply. Therefore, the project may proceed as proposed. A positive determination means the provision of the Act and/or bylaw do in fact apply and/or may require some conditions. Therefore, the project would require notice of intent application. So as an applicant, you want to hear a negative determination. For the benefit of anybody waiting for a particular hearing tonight, so you don't have to wait unnecessarily, the following hearings are expected to be continued. 34 Bridge Street, Falmouth, Mass. 20 Associates Road, Falmouth, Mass. 8 Associates Road, Falmouth, Mass. All right. First up, we were going to have an executive session. However, that is canceled. If it's back up, it'll be on the agenda in a later meeting. Next up, review and approve minutes. I'll take a motion to review and approve minutes for July 1st, 2026.
All right. I'll make a motion to review the minutes on July 1st, 2026, and I move to accept them. Driscoll.
Bowman, second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the July 21st, 2026 meeting minutes. Any questions? None. Call the roll. Dan.
Shy.
Ron.
Driscoll, aye.
Dave.
Kent, aye.
Jim.
Grath, aye.
Ronnie.
Bowman, aye.
Betsy.
Gladfelter, aye.
And Duffy, aye. Next, review and approve meeting minutes for July 15th, 2026.
Review the minutes of July 15th, 2026, and I make a motion to approve the minutes. Driscoll.
Bowman, second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none. Dan.
Walsh, aye.
Ron.
Driscoll, aye.
Dave.
Kent, aye.
Jim.
Grath, aye.
Ronnie.
Bowman, aye.
Betsy.
Gladfelter, aye.
And Duffy. Motion passes to approve July 25th. Next up, review and approve minutes for July 22nd, 2026.
I reviewed the minutes of July 26th, 2026, and I move to approve the minutes. Driscoll.
Bowman, second.
With a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none. Dan.
Walsh, aye.
Ron.
Driscoll, aye.
Dave.
Kent, aye.
Jim.
Grath, aye.
Ronnie.
Bowman, aye.
Betsy.
Gladfelter, aye.
And Duffy, motion passes to approve July 26 minutes. First up, we have a request for a continuance under a notice of intent. Robert and Dana Smith, 20 Associates Road, Falmouth, Mass. For permission to reconstruct an existing stone revetment. Alyssa.
The applicant has requested a continuance until October 14th.
At the request of the applicant, requested to move the meeting, continue the meeting on the notice of intent until October 14th, 2026. Driscoll.
Bowman, second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions on this?
Yeah, what is it they're doing at this point that's delaying it? Do we know?
Yeah, so they're looking to work on the permitting in the fall. There's just a lot of stakes in the backyard right now, and they're trying to enjoy their summer. They also might make a couple minor changes.
Thank you. Oh, so they're going to work with the other revetment going on, the bigger one in West Falmouth Harbor?
Which one in
Yeah.
West Falmouth Harbor?
The big one that goes out, that's a 100-year thing. that
Oh,
was
the one
fixed.
right next door to it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet. That's one of my questions, is because we're using the same access
Right.
Yes.
to get to both. So I don't know whose responsibility it's going to be to, wrap everything up
Yeah,
and
replant.
replant and all
Okay.
that. So I don't know yet, but I'm interested to
Okay.
hear.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Vote has been called. Dan,
All shy.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Dave,
And I.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
Roddy,
Bowman, aye.
Betsy,
Pelter, aye.
and Duffy. I motion to continue this hearing till October 14th has passed. Now we have request for determination of applicability. First up, Allison Blash, 26 Zell Street, East Falmouth, Mass, for after-the-fact permission to reconstruct a portion of a seawall. Fallon.
Staff recommends a -2 under the state and bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed.
All right. Move to determine the work described within the area subject to protection, but will not remove, fill, dredge, or alter the area. Driscoll.
Bowman, second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Dan,
All shy.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Dave,
And I.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
Betsy,
Pelter, aye.
and Duffy, aye. Motion passes. Next up, James Matrano, 269 Edgewater Drive West, East Falmouth, Mass, for permission to convert existing porches into living space, reconstruct a porch, and install a pergola. Fallon.
Staff recommends a -3 under the state and -2 under the bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed.
Move to determine the work described is within an area subject to protection, but will not remove, fill, dredge, or alter the area. Driscoll.
Bowman, second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Dan,
All shy.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Dave,
And I.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
Betsy,
Pelter, aye.
and Duffy, aye. Motion passes. Next up, Michael Basella, 196 Bristol Spring Avenue, Falmouth, Mass, for after-the-fact permission to reconstruct a patio or remove poison ivy. Fallon.
Staff recommends a -2 under the state and bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed, and this project solely takes place in an 8E flood zone.
Move to determine the work described is within an area subject to protection, but will not remove, fill, dredge, or alter the area. Driscoll.
Bowman, second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none. Dan,
All shy.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Dave,
And I.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
Betsy,
Pelter, aye.
and Duffy, aye. Motion passes. Next up, Woods Hole Yacht Club, 58 Barneck Road, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to reconstruct a walkway in kind and replace existing pylons. Fallon.
Staff recommends a -2 under the state and bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed.
Move to determine the work described is within an area subject to protection, but will not remove, fill, dredge, or alter the area. Driscoll.
Bowman, second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Dan,
All shy.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Dave,
And I.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
Betsy,
Pelter, aye.
and Duffy, aye. Motion passes. Next up, Tibero R. and Kristen M. Mello, 19 Maple Street, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to raise and rebuild a single-family dwelling. Fallon.
Staff recommends a -2 under the state and bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed, and this project solely takes place in an AE flood zone.
Move to determine the work described within an area subject to protection but will not remove, fill, dredge, or alter the area. Driscoll.
Holman second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions?
Isn't this a lot of work to knock a building down and rebuild it under an RDA?
It is a decent amount of work, but we typically see these types of projects if they're flood zone only, AE flood zone only, under an RDA. It's kind of the exception for something like this.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Dan,
Walsh, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Dave,
Kent, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
Ronnie,
Holman, aye.
Betsy,
Gotfelder, aye.
and Duffy, aye. Motion passes. Next up, Jeffrey and Amy Mann, 130 Birch Lane, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to construct an addition and a deck and to install a new innovative alternative Title V sewage disposal system. Fallon.
Staff recommends a -2 under the state and bylaw. Resource area boundaries are not confirmed, and this project solely takes place in an AE flood zone.
Move to determine the work described as within the area subject to protection but will not remove, fill, dredge, or alter the area. Driscoll.
Holman second.
We got a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Dan,
Walsh, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Dave,
Kent, aye.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
Ronnie,
Holman, aye.
Gotfelder,
Betsy,
aye.
and Duffy, aye. Motion passes. For NOIs, all hearings of the Falmouth Conservation Commission are held simultaneously under the authorities of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and the Falmouth Wetland Bylaws. Although a single decision of the commission is issued, it represents a separate decision under each authority. As a reminder, public commenting is limited to 3 minutes, so I encourage you to stay within the purview of this board, which are the rules and regulations of the Wetlands Protection Act and the Falmouth Wetland Bylaws and how they pertain to a particular applicant. Please know that all correspondence received by the Conservation Department is forwarded to all commissioners and becomes part of the record. We will not read each and every letter we receive at a hearing. Remember, our jurisdiction is that of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and the Falmouth Wetland Bylaws, not zoning, health, or building. All right, first up, request for a notice intent. We got Gregory Everett, 57 Captain's Lane, East Falmouth, Mass, for permission to demolish a portion of the existing house and construct a new addition, expand the deck, install a new Title V sewage disposal system, and install mitigation plantings. Alyssa.
Yes, just a quick note. Mike Beckerly is here. I'm trying to promote you, Mike, as a panelist. I can't tell if you're having trouble. So I'll send you an email real quick with my work cell if you want to talk through. Mike Berselli is here to present his project.
Well, good evening, everyone. Mr. Chairman, for the record, my name is Michael Borselli, Falmouth Engineering, and I represent the applicant. With your permission, I'd like to share my screen.
Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you. The property in question is at number 57 Captain's Lane. It's an existing single-family dwelling with typical appurtenances like driveway, deck. There's a shed, a yard area, a grass area, and adjacent to it and just west of it is an undeveloped lot, also owned by the applicant and not part of the application tonight. The wetland resources of note start on the boundary of the eastern shore of Green Pond. There's a salt marsh, which is shown by this green line. And I show the 100-foot no disturbance zone A from the edge of salt marsh. There's a coastal bank, and the coastal bank is actually a coastal bank by definition under DEP policy 92-1. It actually runs through the house because this house in this area were developed before there was even such a thing in the wetlands protection Act and its regulations about coastal banks. But that being said, it meets the definition because it is in a flood zone and it has a slope steeper than 10-1. The boundary follows the flood zone boundary, and it actually runs along the face of the existing house and then pops out again off the lot. Some of this grass is steeper than 10-1, so this is actually part of the coastal bank. And then about here, it's flatter than 10-1, and it does not meet the definition. So the base is not adjacent to another wetland resource. Of course, we're also in land subject to coastal storm flowage. So this is a classic redevelopment project in accordance with your regs at 10.18. And we believe the proposed project meets those regulations. I'm going to show you the proposed plan now. On the previous plan, I showed some areas shaded in this light tan area. It's similar on this. The light tan is an inventory of all the impervious surfaces that are within the buffer to the coastal bank. The proposed project shows what will be for impervious surfaces on the redeveloped lot. In the background, you'll see red line work, which represents some of the existing elements for reference. So the project is basically to remove the back section of the existing house and rebuild it in effectively the same location, very slightly bigger, like a sliver around the edge. There's a proposed deck reconstruction. There's proposed roof line alterations within the footprint, all in an effort to provide a little bit more elbow room and renovate the house for the applicant who has plans to live here more on a year-round basis. There is an existing deck that is above the a portion of the existing driveway. By that I mean this house is what's called considered a walkout. So the lower level or the basement level, you can walk out at grade underneath a deck, which is elevated 1 story up, and you gain access from the true first floor of the house. So that deck is proposed to be rebuilt. There's also proposed a very small connection because there'll be doors that'll allow you to come out and then access the deck from the renovated rear of the house. There's a substandard septic system on site now that serves the house. The house has 3 bedrooms. The new renovated house will have 3 bedrooms. Monday night, we went to the Board of Health and they approved the new septic system. Since there's no increase in bedrooms, there's no requirement for a innovative alternative septic system. But we've shown that it could be retrofitted if the regulations change in the future. So the proposed impervious surfaces are slightly greater. I've tabulated here. The existing is 3,130. The proposed is 3,253. We're on the bank, so we're not moving closer because we're already on it. I submitted with my narrative some language that demonstrates how we've overcome the presumptions of significance. Basically, this bank has one function, and that's storm damage prevention and flood control, because it's a vertical buffer to flood waters. That functions will remain. It doesn't serve any other function. It's not eroding. It's not a sediment source to nourish beaches. So because there's a slight increase in impervious surfaces, we've proposed mitigation planting, and it's shown here in green. Now, one thing about the area of mitigation, we've had some consultation with your staff and the staff, and I just as most recently as yesterday had a discussion about what type of bank is this? And they convinced me, and I agree that it's the type of bank that I had originally thought it didn't have an A zone associated with it. Thought it was only B. And under B, you only have to mitigate it a ratio of 2-to-1. But I was convinced, because it was 2-on-1, but I was convinced that it's really an A zone and it should be 3-to-1 mitigation. So this area of mitigation would have to grow slightly in this direction. And we're happy to submit a revised plan for that. The staff comments were very limited, which is always good. 2, please show the buffers to the bank. I'm happy to do that. The entire lot's going to be encompassed by the buffer. They'll go off the site, but I can certainly add the buffers to the bank. And then there was a comment about it looks like there might have been some historical cutting on it says on the east side of the property, and there were some photos attached pointing to the circling that area. And your staff's recommending that you require there to be sprout management, meaning let the stumps sprout more shoots and become more of a vegetated area. It's on the opposite side of the lot from Green Pond and the salt marsh, but it's within jurisdiction. So certainly reasonable and acceptable to us. And I'm hoping you receive this favorably and can close an issue with a condition that I add more mitigation planting at a 3-to-1 ratio instead of a 2-to-1. And with that, I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you, Mike. All right, Melissa.
Thank you. Yes, as Mike said, we did chat earlier in the week, so I have no questions at this time. Thank you.
Anything to add, Fallon?
Nothing to add. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
All right. Well, I will go for commissioners' questions. Betsy.
I have no questions. Thanks, Mike.
Dave.
I wonder if Mike or staff could amplify a bit. I've never heard the word significance used. What's going on there? With the coastal bank, I think, Mike?
Yeah, so when it comes to coastal banks, there's, various functions of a coastal bank. For coastal banks that are a little more inland, that maybe aren't exactly fighting off floodwaters, there are ways to where it's still jurisdictional, it's still important, it's still protected, but it might not be significant in serving those functions. So there's a way to because we have a lot of properties in town that are in a flood zone that might have a coastal bank on the lot simply because someone moved some earth at some point and now there's a hill. So an engineer would try to overcome the presumption of significance to prove that that's not a significant bank, it's not fighting off floodwaters, it's not applying a sediment source to a beach. It technically exists, but it's not a coastal bank type of thing. So significance is used when trying to describe how it's exhibiting those functions per the regulations.
Thanks.
Okay.
Just one question, Mike. The septic tank's being increased in size, is that correct?
Yes, the existing septic tank is only 1,000 gallon and the minimum size now requires 1,500. That's being replaced.
On the new proposed diagram, is that under the corner of the house?
It's very close. The as-built sketch that we provided was fuzzy. I often call them hieroglyphics because it's hard to read. Some installer back in the early 70s sketched something on the back of an envelope, but we know that the pipe exits the house there and it's very close. It would be under the new small deck we're proposing, and it's undersized, so that'll be pumped and dug out of the ground, and then the soil, the hole will be filled back in.
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, Jim,
No questions.
Ronnie,
No questions, thank you.
Ron.
Yeah, one more time, Mike. There's no closer to the resource since it's on the resource. Because the new deck is moving a couple of feet towards the A zone, but it's on the buffer, so you can move it. You can move closer. That's not really moving closer. Is that what I understand?
In my opinion, and based on experience in the past, it's like if you're on it, you can't really move closer. Yes, we made it slightly bigger, but we made it slightly bigger in a place that's already impervious surface, that being the driveway. That's why I put some language in the narrative about the type of coastal bank this is.
Yeah.
And how I've overcome. I think the significance of the bank or the importance of the bank is limited, and making the deck slightly larger in a place that's already altered in driveway doesn't change anything with regard to its ability to function.
Okay. So there's already impervious surface. So you're just putting a deck where the impervious surface already is, and it's been there for 50. Okay. Thank you. Interesting.
Dan.
That's all.
Yeah, I don't think I have a Conservation Commission related question, but I do have one for Mike on the shed, which is probably going to be building permit issue. Is that shed far enough from the property line that that's actually meeting requirements? I think I'm reading your thing. It says it's 2.8 feet.
Yes. So the shed is not proposed. It's existing.
Right.
And it's very small. I think it measures like 8 by 12 at most.
Yeah.
And actually the building department publishes a little pamphlet about sheds that says if they're under 100 square feet, they don't need to meet the property line setback.
All right. Got it. Okay. No, I didn't have anything else. Thank you.
I don't have any questions. Mike, thank you. Looks pretty straightforward to me. Alyssa, is there anything in the chat?
There is nothing in the public chat and no hands raised.
All right.
Make a motion to close the hearing and take it under advisement. Driscoll.
Second, Gladfelter.
Got a motion, a second to close and take it under advisement. Any questions? Seeing none, we'll call the roll. Betsy.
Gladfelter, aye.
Dave.
Can't
Jim.
McGrath, aye.
Ronnie.
Holman, aye.
Ron.
Driscoll, aye.
Dan.
All shy.
And Duffy, aye. Motion passes to close the hearing and take it under advisement. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Next up, we have continued requests for hearing under a notice of intent. First one, Knobscot Pond, CO Philip L. and Judith R. Richardson, Falmouth, Mass. Permission to conduct invasive management of common reed. Alyssa.
Yes, so in looking at the attendees, I don't see anyone from Crawford Land Management here. I just reached out. I haven't heard. I do think we can close it tonight because we were just waiting on state comments, but I just want to make sure nobody comes yet. So maybe we can table this.
We can table it for the last one, and if no one shows up, we can close it. I don't have an issue with that.
Perfect.
I'll make a motion to table Knobscot Pond.
Driscoll, second.
Motion a second to table Knobscot Pond. Any questions? Seeing none. Betsy.
Gladfelter, aye.
Dave.
I?
Jim.
McGrath, aye.
Ronnie.
Holman, aye.
Ron.
Driscoll, aye.
Dan.
All shy.
And Duffy, aye. Motion passes to table this. Next, Robert Trania, 34 Bridge Street, Falmouth, Mass. Permission to conduct maintenance and improved dredging. Alyssa.
Yes, I am promoting Bob Ament, and I know that Tom Bunker could not join this evening, so Mike Borselli is available to ask any questions too. Sorry, Mike, I should have just left you up here. I got frazzled when I saw no one from Crawford.
No worries. I think the chairman made reference to the trainer dredging one, which I think was continued.
Yeah, I did say that one.
I-
I don't think
They
we've
wanted to
continued
continue.
that
I
yet.
got frazzled. I'm sorry. Bridge Street. The applicant has requested a continuance until August 26th.
At the request of the applicant, continue the hearing until August 26th. Driscoll.
Gladfelter, second.
Motion second, any questions?
We're waiting. Are they still waiting for other permits? Is that what they're waiting for?
I actually don't know the reason for the request.
Well, there's a couple
but they just-
things. They did not receive any comments from Division of Marine Fisheries.
Yeah, okay.
There's been a personnel reorganization at Epsilon. So there's a new Epsilon team member who is taking over the project, and he's trying to get up to speed. And since there are some outstanding comments from agencies, they're the lead firm. I just happen to be here for other things. They thought it best to continue the hearing.
Thank you for that explanation. All right, I'll call the roll. Betsy,
Gladfelter, aye.
Dave,
Can't I?
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Dan,
All shy.
and Duffy, aye. Motion passed to continue to 8/26. Next, Joshua B. Bernstein, trustees, 282 Quistit Avenue, Lot 2, Falmouth, Mass. Permission to construct a single-family dwelling with deck and patio, install a Title V sewage disposal system, and install mitigation plantings. Alyssa.
Yes, Mike Barcelli is here to address this property.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, for the record, Mike Borselli representing the applicant. This is a collaboration with BSS Design and Falmouth Engineering. Tom Bunker is his company prepared the plan. I assisted in the design of the septic. Tom had a conflict. I don't know that there's a lot to talk about in the interest of not wasting a lot of your time. I think your staff summarized things in the staff report. There were some minor informational matters. One was that this is in priority habitat, and we had not heard from Natural Heritage. I understand that we received a letter from Natural Heritage, and it summarizes that there's no take, which is what you want to hear. The wetlands data sheets were submitted. There was a request to shift the mitigation that's required onto the lot. So I think all those things were covered. There was one other minor thing where there needs to be an adjustment in the boundary of a wetland line, but it hasn't. It was late breaking, and it's very minor. I think you were satisfied at the last hearing on this, other than these minor things. So if you'd like, I can present more, but I don't know that it's necessary, and we're hopeful you can close and issue an order.
Thank you, Mike. Alyssa.
Yes, as Mike said, we received all the outstanding information that we needed, and we can just condition a revised plan to be submitted with the new BBW data points. I don't think it'll change anything.
Right.
It probably won't be much different at all, but at least they'll be updated and per the new wetland delineation handbook. And just to note that the quorum is Dan, Dave, Jim, and Bill. Thank you.
All right. Any questions from either Dan, Dave, or Jim? Seeing none, I will accept a motion.
Motion to close the hearing and take it under advisement.
McGrath, second.
All right, I got a motion, a second. Any questions? Seeing none, anything in the chat, Alyssa?
Nothing in the public chat and no hands raised. Well, technically just a note that Bob Emmett was here if we needed him, but I think we're good.
All right. All right, Dave,
Can't I?
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
Dan,
All shy.
and Duffy, aye. Motion passes to close the hearing and take it under advisement.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you, Mike. Next up, John H. Gallagher III, 415 Mara Vista Avenue, Falmouth, Mass. For permission to raise the existing single-family dwelling, construct a new single-family dwelling on pilings, and install a new Title V sewage disposal system with mounded leaching field. Alyssa.
Yes, I'm promoting Chuck Rowland from Cape Islands Engineering to present his project.
May I ask a question?
Mhm.
We haven't heard this yet, right?
Right, we're just opening it, so
Okay.
everyone's on the quorum. Hi, Chuck.
Good evening. Sorry, my computer always seems to cut out when I get joined as a panelist. So Chuck Rowland, Cape and Islands Engineering. With your permission, I'm going to share my screen.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Let me know when this pops up for everyone.
Here we go, Chuck.
Great. So like I said, Chuck Rowland, Cape and Islands Engineering, representing the owners of 415 Mara Vista Avenue. And this property is developed with a residential lot, single family residence. The property has 8,851 square feet and is located at the intersection of Katomet Street and Mara Vista. And the lot contains both that single family structure as well as an ADU, stone step walkway, and a service by a septic system. The jurisdictional resources at the site are land subject coastal storm flowage only. We have a V zone running along the westerly side of the property with the majority of the parcel in the AE 14, and then we also have the AE 12, which cuts across that corner right there, with the majority of the property located within the Limwa. The applicant is proposing to raise the existing single-family residence, wood deck porch, as well as the step walkway to then construct and maintain a new two-story single-family residential home to be raised on a pile foundation with a drive-under garage slab. We've proposed a new Title V septic system here on the southerly side of the property. And the proposed dwelling is constructed inside the Limwa and has been designed to meet the requirements for this zone, including on piles, with the lowest horizontal structural number 3 feet above the base flood elevation. Prior to the start of work, erosion and sediment controls will be installed around the property. And zoom in for you. So we have a work limit running around the property, as well as around the existing accessory structure to prevent any runoff into the resources and abutting properties. So we feel that the project will not change the general topography of the property or impact wave action or storm flowage. The proposed project will not significantly increase any runoff and will result in immeasurable impacts or threat to the subject resource area's values beyond the existing conditions. We've proposed several dry wells on the plan, and the project is designed and will be constructed in accordance with Massachusetts State Building Code and FEMA regulations for constructions in the Limwa. And the septic system upgrade will better enhance filtration to the before hitting the groundwater than current conditions. We've proposed 2 retaining walls to put in a raised septic system. So we have a tank, a pump, and a leach field, impervious barriers, as well as the walls. So just to kind of recap, it's just a standard demo rebuild in the flood zone, new septic. We've provided 2 different types of drainage. We have H20 drainage, which we've located both underneath this patio and in the driveway area, so it's just off the driveway for H20 rated vehicle rating, as well as plastic dry wells in the lawn on the east side right here for roof runoff. The zoning board of appeal application has been filed. And like I had said, this application meets Mass DEP as well as the Falmouth Conservation Performance Standards for work on the land subject to coastal storm flowage. And we will also be meeting the requirements for the building code for work in a coastal A zone. We do have this velocity zone running on the cutting off just this western side of the property. And I've shown the 25-foot offset from that for the Falmouth regulated V zone. And as you can see, I show the wall just outside that V zone, with the only thing that I proposed inside the V zone is gravel and patios. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions. Let me know if you want me to close my screen.
Yeah, that'd be good. And thank you, Chuck.
I swear every one of these is a little different, so.
Chuck, that's okay. Leave it there because I think there's probably questions on it.
Okay.
All right, Lissa.
Thank you. Just two things. One question for Chuck. I'm sorry if I missed it. Regarding the fire pit, just because it's in the V zone, is this just a small little portable fire pit, or is this going to be a solid masoned permanent structure?
I think that we would be, I know that the commission prefers to have a portable one. I didn't want to have to pigeonhole my client into having one or the other. If this is an issue with the commission, I think that we'd be happy to condition it that it is portable, but I would rather not just say that it has to be one or the other.
Okay.
But I know that that was your only question actually in your notes, and because it was kind of a layup, I forgot to address it.
It's okay. Yeah, so and for the commission, just a clarifying note for this project. So the vast majority of this structure is being proposed in the coastal A zone, adjacent to that Limwa line. That is that new FEMA flood zone that we have not added to our regulations yet. So technically, most of this project is solely within an AE flood zone under our regulations, but because it is in that coastal A according to building code and FEMA, it is being constructed to V zone standards. There are a couple additional notes that we tend to ask for, such as, what the enclosed space will be and things like that. But it's technically not in a V zone under your regs. So that's why at the staff level, we haven't asked for that information. The reason I asked about the fire pit is typically in the V zone, FEMA does not like to see too many vertical structures that could impede the flow of water. So we tend to like to see these areas very flat. So at least with a portable fire pit, it could be moved. And more with a masoned fire pit, it might disperse the water. It's obviously very small, so wouldn't do a lot of damage, but just being consistent. That's why the staff would advocate for a portable fire pit. That's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. Fallon, anything to add to this one?
Nothing to add. Thank you. Thanks, Chuck.
All righty, I will open up to comments. Dan.
So just to make certain I got the whole septic system. So the barrier, the third box up on the right-hand side that says proposed impervious. Nope, down at the bottom.
Oh, down at the bottom.
Down. Yeah, down at the bottom. So just scroll back down. Just so you can see the comments on the go all the way to keep going. All right. So you see the third box up on the right, just next to the house, the one that says proposed impervious barrier around entire system.
Yes, sir.
Is that actually around and under it, or just around it?
It's just around it. So
it does still leach into the, if you will, the aquifer underneath it. Okay.
Yes, sir. And the reason I was scrolling up is it's better depicted in the cross section.
Okay.
So this, this obviously is shown. So it's the 40 mil polyline barrier on both sides.
Yep. Right. Thank you. That was it. And Alyssa, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we had reviewed this before. We were just waiting for the zoning application had been filed.
Right. And it has been, so I believe.
Okay.
Yep. So they're all good.
Thank you.
All right. Dave.
My only question is, I'm not quite exactly sure how we're leaving the issue of the fire pit. How are we leaving that issue?
I think it seems that the applicant is just proposing a fire pit. They haven't described it, so it'd be up to you guys during deliberation if you would like to condition that to only be portable or allow it to be however it's constructed.
And staff, you guys, staff recommends portable?
Correct.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
I've never seen this commission not go with staff's recommendations, so I'm not going to fight you.
That's why I asked about it. To clarify it.
Jim.
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Ron.
Yeah, I had a question about the enclosed space, but I guess Alyssa, you took care of it. It's not in our jurisdiction, so that because the rules have changed.
Yes, it's
All right.
one of those. I've maybe seen 2 of these that, we've quote unquote missed just because we're a little behind on updating our regs. But because we don't have the Limwa and the Coastal A incorporated into our regs yet.
Yeah.
And this, when you eliminate that portion, it would have just been in an AE flood zone. So I can't hold them to the standard of only having a certain square footage of enclosed space and whatnot.
Can I ask how much enclosed space is underneath?
We can ask. We just can't
Okay,
necessarily.
I'll ask that question. Just out of curiosity, and after all the work we put in a couple of years ago and arguing over 150 square feet.
I do not have the architecturals with me, but I can tell you that it's underneath the entire structure is enclosed.
With like paneling, or is it solid walls?
With breakaway walls.
Okay.
Which is a requirement for building code.
Yes.
Okay, that's all. I have no more questions. Thank you.
Ronnie.
No questions.
Betsy.
I have no questions. Thanks.
All right. I have no questions either. So if you could stop sharing your screen now, Chuck.
Figured out how to do it.
All righty. Anything in the chat, Alyssa, or any questions in the?
Nothing in the chat. No hands raised.
Perfect.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing and take it under advisement.
Driscoll second.
Got a motion and a second to close and take it under advisement. Any questions on that? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Betsy.
Gladfelter, aye.
Dan.
Walsh, aye.
Ron.
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie.
Bowman, aye.
Dave.
Anti.
Jim.
McGrath, aye.
And Duffy, aye. Motion passes to close this hearing and take it under advisement. Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks,
Good
Chuck.
job.
Night, Chuck.
All right. Next up, we have 20 Associates Road, Falmouth, Mass. Permission to construct an existing stone revetment.
Yes, we continued this to October 14th.
Oh yeah, this one's 10/14. Next up, Chappaquiddick Reality Trust, 8 Associates Road, Falmouth, Mass. For permission to install a pool, reconstruct the spa and deck, construct an addition and bulkhead, remove a portion of the existing riprap wall, and install mitigation and restoration plantings. Alyssa.
Yes, the applicant has requested a continuance until August 26th.
At the request of the applicant, continues hearing until August 26th. Driscoll.
Gladfelter, second.
We got a motion and a second to continue this to August 26th. Are there any questions? Seeing no questions, I will call the roll. Betsy.
Gladfelter, aye.
Dan.
Walsh, aye.
Ron.
Driscoll, aye.
Bowman,
Ronnie.
aye.
Dave.
Anti.
Jim.
McGrath, aye.
And Duffy, motion passes to continue this hearing until 8/26. Next up, hearing under an enforcement order. First up, Michael and Faith Stevens, 33 Mill Pond Way, East Falmouth, Mass. Unpermitted clearing and installation of a patio in conservation jurisdiction. Alyssa.
Yes, so I have been in communication with the homeowner and he could not be in attendance tonight. So there's a request to continue this until next week, August 12th.
At the request of the person under the enforcement order, continues hearing until August 12th. Driscoll.
Gladfelter, second.
Got a motion and a second to continue this until August 12th. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Betsy.
Gladfelter, aye.
Dan.
Walsh, aye.
Ron.
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie.
Bowman, aye.
Dave.
Kent, aye.
Tim.
McGrath, aye.
And Duffy, a motion to continue this enforcement order till next week, 8/12. Next up, Linda Jeffrey, 63 Girard Avenue, Falmouth, Mass. Unpermitted removal of a dune.
Ooh.
Alyssa.
So Jen and I met with the homeowner maybe a week and a half ago. The homeowner will be addressing this matter under the filing of a notice of intent. He did check in today. He is obtaining quotes from engineers. So the process is moving forward. So I figure, why don't we push this a month to September 2nd, just to keep it on the agenda until that NOI comes
Okay,
in.
motion to continue this enforcement order till September 2nd. Driscoll.
Bowman, second.
We got a motion and a second to continue this enforcement until September 2nd. Any questions? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Betsy.
Gladfelter, aye.
Dan.
Walsh, aye.
Ron.
Driscoll, aye.
Bowman,
Ronnie.
aye.
Dave.
Kent, aye.
And Jim.
McGrath, aye.
And Duffy, aye. Motion to continue this hearing until 9/2 passes. Next up, vote order of conditions. Alyssa, I don't believe I'm on the quorum for either of these two, right? Because they were last week.
Let me see.
2.
Right, you were not on any of the 3 votes tonight.
All right. Is Mike?
I
And I'm
don't-
out too, right, Alyssa?
Who is on the quorum?
let's see. Well, don't forget we have to untable something too, so nobody leave yet. I
Yeah.
haven't checked that quorum. But let's just say for the first one, excludes Bill and Ron,
Okay.
and then we'll just keep going from there.
Thank you. All right. First one up. Vote order of conditions for Stephen and Judith Kaufman, 71 Childs River Road, Falmouth, Mass. Alyssa.
Yes, so this was a twofold project. Part of it is to restore a salt marsh that has been eroding over the years, and they're noticing some damage on their seawall, so they'd like to reinforce that salt marsh again. Another part is to conduct some invasive species management in the buffer. There were a couple notes from staff based on an old order of conditions. There was a requirement for a 10-foot buffer strip around the revetment. I was not specific. It is not on the pool side, but more so the house side. And there's just like an extra path kind of going through that I think should get filled in, and it might need one more row of plants just depending on the measurement. So really just a condition to make sure that buffer is intact. We recommend requiring monitoring reports, obviously, just to ensure that the project is successful. And if there's any concerns midway through, we can help address. It looked like there might be some cutting, so that hasn't been permitted, so that is to stop. The staff also does not support the use of that little cobble edging that's being proposed in the restoration project. It just conflicts with the idea of using a soft solution first. And I just think it'd be a very slippery slope to go down to start allowing the cobble. And I think that's it.
All right. Take questions for Alyssa. Betsy.
I have no questions. I agree with all of staff's recommendations.
I'm trying to figure out where'd the
Dan.
fence end up. We discussed it during the meeting. It was supposed to be left in for 2 seasons, I think. I just don't know where the staff ended up on that issue.
I think if it was seasonal, it would be all right.
No, it's not a seasonal fence, is it?
No, it was
Is
there
that,
for 2
is that,
seasons.
it's a permanent fence until the vegetation has been established.
Okay.
So what they described was they wanted to leave it in for 2 seasons to get it established, but that was all.
Well, then don't make any comment. That's what is proposed that's what they proposed in their NOI.
They didn't have a time frame in their NOI. That was their answer to my question. That's why
Oh, all right.
That's why I'm bringing it up so that we capture the time limit. That was all. Nothing else.
You. Ronnie.
Following up on Dan's, I think, so do we need to make a note of this in the conditions? Is that what we're doing? Okay, that's I'm good.
Yes.
Okay.
No
Dave.
questions. I'm all set.
I'm all set, thank you.
Jim? Mike, anything?
For me.
All right. I can
So
accept the
before we do
motion.
that, just
No motioner for this is not on the quorum.
I just want to ask one more question. So, Alyssa, were you going to require a new plan or no to capture the changes?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. All right. No, nothing else. Sorry.
Well, I'm unclear with what Dan brought up. Do we want to put a time limit on the fence? Do we want to just stay until it's established, or do we want to make sure they get it out of there?
I mean, if they're proposing 2 growing seasons, we can put a requirement that they, notify us.
If they have
when
to,
that
if it has
is,
to be
or
longer
confirm.
than that,
Correct.
they have to come back for permission from you,
Right.
from the staff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ready.
I'll make a motion to accept the order of conditions as discussed.
Bowman
Breath.
second.
Ken, second.
All right, we got a motion and a second for issuing an order of conditions as discussed. Any other questions? Fine. Seeing none. Betsy.
Gladfelter, aye.
Walsh, aye.
Bowman
Ronnie. Dave.
Anti.
Breath, aye.
Jim. And Mike.
Aye.
All right, motion passes to issue an order of conditions as discussed. Next, Joseph and Nancy Buckley, 32 Surrey Lane, East Falmouth, Mass. Alyssa.
All right, so this one had a couple different components to it. The first is the grandfathering of an existing dock on the property. Staff only had a couple concerns regarding it. Most have been addressed, but we would like to see a condition to require lengthening the ramp system for the dock because they're currently walking through the wetland to get to it. So I think by extending that into their already existing staircase, it seems like a modular dock, so hopefully it's not too difficult to get 2 extra pieces and just kind of lengthen it that way. So that was one. A couple other features here, redoing the steps down to the water, moving around some gravel, redoing the patio, putting in some dry wells because there is some runoff on the property. They had a couple dead trees that were removed and seeking to remove a couple more that are very, very large and in between the 2 homes. The other main feature of this project is to install a retaining wall, a short compared to the other ones we've seen recently, a very short profile retaining wall just to create a flatter, more usable backyard space. It's not moving closer. There is a small amount of fill, and they are being mindful of the property line. There was some confusion over the property line, though we do have a stamped plan in front of us attesting where that is. There was a little bit of confusion about trees to be installed on site. I think we landed, and I know Betsy had contributed some notes to this topic, was maybe putting in a little cedar grove on the, I think it's northern side of the property, maybe a smattering of a couple others. I don't know if we would like to define a number. The engineer was asking for one, so maybe we can come up with that.
I think we discussed 7.
Correct.
7
7,
total.
yes. Okay.
I mean, if they want to put more, they can when you're putting it, but
Right. Okay. So we'll do 7 there. And I know they were interested in a vista. During the process, I'll have to meet with a certified arborist just to go through that. And the last point is I re-reviewed the mitigation calculation, and they're actually removing far more than they're adding, so they don't even need mitigation. So we can make a note about that. They may want to leave some gravel now. So, you know, some of that little impervious surface numbers might change a bit. If they do need to plant any, we had a couple notes on the planting list, and I think Elaine was more than happy to make some changes there. So several small things, but very doable to condition.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right. Questions, Betsy?
I have no questions.
All right. Dan?
So there's a whole bunch of random sort of boats and things sitting on the property, which I assume we're going to just make notes they have to be removed unless somebody's gone out there and seen that they've already been removed.
Yes, so there, I do remember the abandoned boat kind of by the wetland. I was told that was removed.
Okay.
There was a float and block stairs that went to the current configuration of the dock. So those will no longer be stored there. They do have a proposed location on the property. Was there anything else?
Well, there was 3 kayaks sitting on the bank when I was there. That was a month ago or more.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
It might have been after I had been there, but we can ask them to propose a kayak rack in the upland so they're not being stored on the beach.
Let's see. I think that's it. Thank you.
Ronnie?
No questions.
Dave?
I'm all set.
Jim?
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Mike?
No questions.
All right.
I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions as discussed. Walsh.
I felt her second.
A motion and a second to issue the order of conditions as discussed. Any other questions? Seeing none. Betsy?
Gladfelter, aye.
Dan?
Walsh, aye.
Ronnie?
Bowman, aye.
Dave?
Anti.
Jim? McGrath, aye.
And Mike?
Beckerly, aye.
Okay, now vote amended order of conditions. Anthony J. Avini Jr. and Elena Avini, 42 Squibnocket Drive, East Falmouth, Massachusetts. Melissa.
Yeah, so this amendment was brought before you with a request to change the required timeline to address the violations on the property. Jen and I have met out there with the crew that will be dismantling the wall, regrading and installing the plantings, and they have availability closer to the fall. Also, it would give them a little bit more time to make sure everything is settled prior to planting, so they are seeking approval to complete the work by April 30th as opposed to October. And the staff is amenable to that request.
Who's on this quorum?
It will exclude Ron and Bill.
Okay. All right, since it's just basic, we'll just, if anybody has any questions, just
Nope.
and
I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions, an amended order of conditions as discussed. Gladfelter.
Bowman second.
all right, got a motion and a second to issue an amended order of conditions as discussed. Are there any questions? Seeing none. Betsy.
Gladfelter, aye.
Dan.
I do
Also-
have a question. So,
Ronnie.
Bowman, aye.
Dave.
Anti.
Jim.
McGrath, aye.
All right.
Mike-
Issue.
Mike had a question.
Oh, Mike. Yep.
yeah, I'm sorry. I did have a question. I'm just trying to clarify. I also have a packet of information for 32 Squibnaka Drive. I just want to make sure we are talking about 42 Squibnaka Drive.
We are.
32
Okay.
will be on the hearing for,
Next week, I think.
it's either next week or the 26th, I don't recall. But yes, not for
Okay.
tonight.
Thank you very much. I have no, Beckerly, aye.
All right. Motion passes to an issue an amended order of conditions. All right. We have a table motion. Has the applicants showed up?
I have not seen them. That said, there wasn't meant to be discussion.
Okay.
So if we want to open it, I can just kind of run through it.
I'll on
Right.
table.
Sure.
I think motion to on table the tabled.
Bowman second.
Which one
All
was
right.
that?
Motion and a second to untabled. So Betsy,
Gladfelter, aye.
Dan,
Also,
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Bowman, aye.
Dave,
Anti.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Duffy. Motion untable is passed. All right. Let's
Yes, and to clarify, the quorum is Dan, Dave, Jim, Ron, Bill.
Actually, I'm on
Um,
this by the whatever the rule was.
Oh, yes, you did read in for us. Thank you. Yes, so this project was brought before you a couple weeks ago. They're looking to conduct some follow-up Phragmites removal in 8 little scattered locations around Nobska Pond. This was done years ago, so it's looking a million times better. So it's really just some spot follow-up to be conducted, I believe, in the fall. Ultimately, we were continuing this hearing to wait for natural heritage comments, which we actually did receive some. Ultimately, the state had some concerns with the salt pond pennywort that's located in this area, so they're just requiring a little extra work from Crawford to ensure that the pennywort is, not disturbed or negatively impacted during this process. So basically, all of the conditions that the state has, we can add into our order of conditions. We just would like to be in the loop, make sure the state is okay with the process they'd like to undertake. And obviously, if anything goes south, to kind of notify us so that we can be in the conversation on how to, move forward. So at this point, I don't have anything else to add to the special conditions. I think all of our questions were answered previously.
Make a motion to issue an order of conditions for Nobska Pond Phragmites.
I think we're closing the hearing, right?
Yeah, we're closing hearing.
Oh, what did I say?
Or
You
issue
said
a
order of
condition.
conditions.
Jim, one step ahead.
Oh, right. Close the hearing.
Okay.
And take it under advisement. Driscoll
Take it
second.
under advisement. Sorry, guys, it's been 11
Driscoll
months.
second.
All right. I got a motion and a second to close and take it under advisement. Any questions?
Yeah, just do the property lines going to include the pond? I know that's not a question for us, but just looking at the map, looks like the property lines go right across the Nobska Pond.
So this isn't
seen
an
that.
official survey. They did come before the board maybe a year ago and got your guys' permission to propose this project without a PLS stamped survey. I do know that they've been in touch with all of the property owners to do the work, and they have different permissions for different access to get out there.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly where those property lines are. I do believe they're close to what it shows on Crawford's plan, but I don't know surveyed exact where they are.
I hate to see an argument about your property line on a pond. That's kind of tough. Okay, I'm sorry. No more questions.
Well, it's not
Anyway.
All right.
it's not a stamped plan, is it?
No. No, it just shows the line, the property line's going right across the pond.
Yeah, but if it's not a
to,
stamped plan, there's not much of an argument you can make.
No, I do believe they sent in letters from each property owner granting permission for the work to take place, just to cover their bases.
Yeah. Okay.
Alrighty. I'll call the roll. Betsy,
Gladfelter, aye.
Dan,
All shy.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Dave,
Anti.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Duffy, aye. Motion to close the hearing and take it under advisement passes. All right. I
So
believe that is it.
I got a couple of questions. Just so my notes are right. So did we, on 8 Associates Road, did we continue it till 8/26?
Yes.
All right. And a general question, since you brought it up, Alyssa, in terms of getting the regulations updated to reflect the current AE zones, is what's the sort of timing for that to happen, or what do we need to do to try to move that forward?
So I don't have the timing. I would have to check with Jen. Essentially, the commission held a number of hearings over the winter of 24 into 25 about various little things in the regs that we can clean up, and a couple new things to incorporate. It just hasn't really come to fruition yet. But I can check with Jen and kind of see what that timeline is and figure out if we would like to do a total rehaul, everything at once, or kind of piecemeal it.
Okay, all right. It'd just be good to know what's going on, given it sounds like there's differences between what the state's currently requiring and what we've got in place that we ought to just get resolved.
Yep.
Okay. So is that something that Jen can talk to us about at the next meeting, or does she need to prepare something, or do you not know?
Oh, it would be a lengthy process. We wouldn't have something to
No, I don't
immediately
mean
share.
something to approve. I just meant to talk about
Okay.
timing of what's feasible. That's all.
Yeah, I could let her know, and we could try to talk about that at the August 12th hearing.
Good. All right, thank you. That was it for me.
I'd like to make a motion to close.
McGrath, second.
Motion and second to close the hearing. I don't see any hands up. I will call Betsy,
Gladfelter, aye.
Dan,
All shy.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Ronnie,
Holman, aye.
Dave,
Anti.
Jim,
McGrath, aye.
and Duffy. Motion to close the hearing passes. Well,
Good night.
thanks, guys.